In other news, chat, Trump is rolling back some of the China tariffs because, surprise, surprise, China wasn't bluffing, unlike the United States. Instead, they're posting memes.
Public opinion in quite the same way that Donald Trump has to worry about it.
No, you also just came out with an op-ed, Freed, and you talk about the tariffs. And in this, you write about your own context on it, growing up in India, a country obviously riddled with tariffs and where, I mean, no business could survive of any size. It was all about what kind of government handout you were getting or who, you were. It was corruption. You go on to say, when I got to America, I was thrilled to see that most businesses went about their work with little care as to who was in the White House. But now I watch tech pioneers give interviews slavishly extolling Trump's genius, and Wall Street titans race to post North Korea-style congratulations to the president for his brilliance in rescuing the economy from his own actions. And I wonder, what country am I living in?
Guys, don't worry. Trump saved us from himself by taking the tariffs off. It's now, everyone, please say thank. Did you even say thank you even once, chat? Did you?
How significant is this moment for you, Freed, as you see this?
It's a very sad moment, honestly, because to me, as a kid coming to America, America was the city on the hill, the shining example of how a modern economy should work. You have a market, you have rules, you have laws, everybody plays by them. It doesn't matter whether you know the prime minister, the president, a senator. That wasn't important. What was important was the merit. Did you have a good product? Could you sell it to people? And now when you look at the orgy of corruption that is going to be unleashed, we have studies already from the first Trump term. Firms that gave money to Republicans got more exemptions than firms that gave money to Democrats. Already you have Vietnam saying we're gonna expedite the Trump organization's project. Real estate projects are being signed in 19 countries with the Trump organization right now. Yep. All of it says to you that this is an economy where political favor, knowing people, all that has become the key, not the market, which was the glory of the American economy.
All right, Freed, thank you very much. And I just want to show everyone what is on screen right now in China as this report aired. As I said, this is just when Freed was talking about Mao Zedong. When we had that particular part of the conversation, it went to bars, Freed. The rest of the conversation, Will Ripley's report, all of that, they did not censor. I say that just to emphasize the closeness with which they are watching this and making these decisions. So the part about invading Taiwan, they obviously wanted that to go out there now. It was censored, obviously, during the Mao Zedong comments. Fareed Zakaria is out front now, the host of Fareed Zakaria GPS. So, Fareed, while Will was reporting, and, Will and I on this show together so many times, and most of his reports go to Bars and Tone in China. Most of the time they censor them. They did not censor this. A report about a potential invasion of Taiwan, beginning with a U.S. general saying that they are not practicing, that they are literally rehearsing, that these aren't drills. And they don't censor it. What is really at stake here tonight?
These are the highest stakes, and the Trump administration has badly bungled this. The greatest deterrent to a Chinese invasion of Taiwan.
Why is Mao coming up? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. I don't want to spoil it, but it's coming up. Well, you know what? Let's skip ahead a little.
To a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, which would send, seismic ripples through the world economy, through the international political system. The greatest deterrent was not any weapon we had. It was the fear that China had that they would be decoupled from the American economy, the economy with which they had, for the last 40 years, built a deep interdependent relationship. Trump has fired that gun pointlessly, without a plan, without a strategy. As far as I can tell, the tariffs on China were raised to 145% simply because he wanted to save face.
Do people in the U.S. really hate China that much? I never understood that. You have to understand that, people in America that fucking watch Fox News, they just believe whatever they see that the TV tells them. And right now, And for the longest time, instead of actually criticizing, the things that are making the country worse, the millionaires and billionaires that are in power and the system that lets them be in power and stay in power, it's always been scapegoating. For the past, I would honestly say that for the history of the United States, but it's been the worst with modern television for the past 4 decades, since a lot of regulations were pulled back on media during the Reagan era, and since large conglomerates have formed, because surely someone has that one Sinclair Media video, right? I told people about the peasant comment. I was more surprised at how normal people thought that what it was to have that opinion for the VP of the United States. Oh yeah. Let me pull it up. For the past 20 years, every German news agency has been swearing on their dead mother that China is about to collapse every minute now. Yep. It wasn't just Fox, MSNBC, and CNN are all cinephobic as fuck. Oh, yeah. 100%. I totally agree with you.
Hi,
I think
Fox San Antonio.
I think Fox News just goes harder in the paint. I'm about to show this is the most offensive version of it. And Fox has always been the most offensive with misinfo.
Well, see?
Broadcasting or lots of videos.
Really dangerous to our democracy.
You get the point. Since the beginning of honestly U.S. imperialism, it's been scapegoating has been the go-to strategy. But I think in the past, I would say 4 decades, it's been very bad because media conglomerates. Oh, hi, Ethan. Media conglomerates have become obscenely large to the point where one news organization or Sinclair Media can own so many channels to the point where people think that they're watching local news and they have no idea that they're actually just watching whatever the higher ups are telling them to fucking say. There isn't even genuine news networks or news anchors that say things that they want to say. There's just, here you go. Here's what we're telling you. I mean, it's the meme about state-sponsored media. It's really funny because America will do all of this China fear-mongering, Red Scare propaganda, and they'll be like, "Can you believe in in China they have one network and it's the state-sponsored network?" And it's like, dog, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Okay, sure. And so I think for a while it was immigrants. It was we have to get these damn Mexicans out of our country. And then for a while, it was gay people. And then we went to trans people. And then we went back to immigrants. And obviously, any people of color in the country have always been the go-to blame, the go-to people to blame. Freedom to consume the same thing under a different label. Woo, yeah. Oh, and don't forget about the Arabs as well, for a very long time as well. Muslim people. The Middle East, they're stealing our freedoms. They hate us because we're so free, etc. Right? All of that's to say, it's so ingrained in Americans at this point that if you just watch any news network, if you watch CNN, ABC, MSNBC, God forbid Fox, because Fox is the most offensive version of it. You've probably already been propagandized to believe that all of your problems are being caused by immigrants, China, or gay people, or all of the above. Because I mean, why not? Right? So when people see China, they feel like it's a very easy enemy to blame without actually looking into, oh, we allowed manufacturing jobs to go to China because we were the ones who claimed that the free market is the best economic policy always, that we shouldn't have regulation and we should just let the free market do as it pleases. And that's why we're moving the jobs to China, because they're willing to do the jobs for cheaper. So yeah, it's pretty hard to, I think, break through that programming for a lot of people.
You know, he was backtracking and flip-flopping on all the other tariffs. So
Incredible video about manufacturing consent. Ooh, I don't know if I've seen this.
Beep, beep.
Noam Chomsky, The 5 Filters of the Mass Media Machine. It's from 8 years ago.
Propaganda. Many use the word when talking about countries like North Korea, Kazakhstan, Iran. Countries viewed as authoritarian through the lens of the Western media. Press freedom, freedom of thought. People use those terms when talking about countries like the United States, France, Australia, democracies. In 1988, Noam Chomsky co-authored a book with Edward Herman called Manufacturing Consent. It blasted apart the notion that media acts as a check on
Terrible CGI, funny dialogue, happy ending, 8 out of 10.
I have to go watch the Minecraft movie.
political power. That media inform the public, serve the public, so that we can better engage in the political process. In fact, media manufacture our consent. They tell us what those in power need them to tell us so we can fall in line. Democracy is staged with the help of media that work as propaganda machines. Media operate through 5 filters. The first has to do with ownership. Mass media firms are big corporations. Often they're part of even bigger conglomerates. Their end game, profit. And so it's in their interests to push for whatever guarantees that profit. Critical journalism takes second place to the needs and interests of the corporation. The second filter exposes the real role of advertising. Media costs a lot more than consumers will ever pay. So who fills the gap? Advertisers. And what are the advertisers paying for? Audiences. And so it isn't so much that the media are selling you a product, their output. They're also selling advertisers a product, you. How does the
Like the music in this is kind of going a little crazy, a little too
establishment
crazy.
manage the media? That's the third filter. Journalism cannot be a check on power because the very system encourages complicity. Governments, corporations, big institutions know how to play the media game. They know how to influence the news narrative. They feed media scoops, official accounts, interviews with the experts. They make themselves crucial to the process of journalism. So those in power and those who report on them are in bed with each other. If you want to challenge power, you'll be pushed to the margins. Your name won't be down. You won't be getting in. You've lost your access. You've lost the story. When the media, journalists, whistleblowers, sources, stray away from the consensus, they get flagged. That's the fourth filter. When the story is inconvenient for the powers that be, you'll see the flak machine in action, discrediting sources, trashing stories, and diverting the conversation.
That's why people talk about manufacturing consent in like the topics surrounding Gaza and Israel. There's a reason that the media will, and by the media I mean CNN, MSNBC, like literally every major news organization that you think of when you think of cable TV will say, oh yeah, bombs dropped and civilians died in Gaza. It's like, wait, who dropped the bombs? Why did those bombs get dropped? What do you mean they died? Were they killed? It's part of the manufacturing of the consent, right? Calling it a war, failing to address the fact that one side of this war has access to all of the electricity, water, food, and any other type of resources that enter the territory of the other side of the war. It's all part of the process of manufacturing consent because, hey man, it's not profitable to bring up the fact that Palestinians are being genocided.
To manufacture consent, you need an enemy, a target. That common enemy is the fifth filter: communism, terrorists, immigrants. A common enemy, a boogeyman to fear, helps corral public opinion. 5 filters, one big media theory. Consent is being manufactured all around you, all the time.
I love these little guys, dude.
Bitty boo. Bitty boo boo boo.
I love these little dudes. Based Al Jazeera, based Amy Goodman, based Noam Chomsky, all around based. Anyways, going back to people who are not terrified of China.
Needed to turn China into his punching bag. But because of that, what he has done is play into China's hardliners' hands. They have been waiting for this decoupling. They practiced it during COVID. They practiced it during the Shanghai lockdown. And now what they're going to say is, look, if we go into Taiwan, what do we have to lose? We've already been cut off from the American market.
I mean, it is stunning to consider that this may be where this goes. You talk about the path from tariffs to war, a precipitous one. You know, in China, I want to just show this. Will Ripley, showed that post that the foreign ministry recently posted on X. So this post, Fareed, has now 13 million views. So what it's of is the former leader Mao Zedong speaking during the Korean War era. Now
This is why people are bringing up Mao.
Last time, the Korean War, when China and America were actually at physical war, clashing on a battlefield, right? That's being posted now. And he says, in part, Mao, no matter how long this war lasts, we will never yield. And that is trending now in China. I know this feeds into what you're talking about, but the symbolism here is so culturally significant.
The beginning of...
When Trump is calling it a trade war and saying that we're going to defeat China and you just need to stand down and all this other stuff. And then the spokesperson of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China posts, "We are China. We are not afraid of provocations. We don't back down." And then it's a fucking video of Mao Zedong saying we'll never yield. As to how long... Oh, sorry. It went too fast. As to how long this war will last, we are not the ones who can decide. It used to depend on President Truman, and it will depend on President Eisenhower and whoever will become the next U.S. president. It's up to them. No matter how long this war is going to last, we will never yield. And guess what? Like the total fucking bitch-made Americans that we are, well, we is kind of a broad stroke there. China's like, well, okay, well, I'll yield a little bit. Apple and NVIDIA score relief from U.S. tariffs with exemptions. President Donald Trump's administration exempted smartphones, computers, and other electronics from its so-called reciprocal tariffs, representing a massive reprieve for global technology manufacturers. When Trump says that his phone was ringing off the hook from so many people that were just so interested in and saying thank you and all this, no, it was fucking Tim Cook calling him up and being like, you better fucking reverse that tariff. You better, I don't give a fuck, dude. Tim Apple, yeah. You reverse it right now. Reverse right now. This is what China posted. Goddamn. Is this the full total fucking, like a total fucking coward? Trump is already like, well, we'll remove some of the tariffs, okay? We'll remove some of them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Okay, I didn't mean it. And they're trying to like backpedal a little bit by being like, well, listen, the tariff pauses on the phones and the computers. It's only temporary, and it's not that we're pussies or that we're little babies. It's that we just want we just it's just temporary, okay? It's just temporary. You can say thank you now. You can say thank you. Have you even said thank you to Trump once? Have you? Have you even said that once? Lutnick speaking on Sunday on ABC's This Week signaled that the late Friday reprieve exempted a range of electronics from 125% tariffs on China and a 10% flat rate around the globe was temporary, and reiterated President Donald Trump's long-standing plan to apply a different specific levy to the sector. But it's also like, what the fuck do you want China to do? Like, it's not like China can magically start buying what, billions of dollars of goods in the US? Like, why would they when they can just make this shit themselves? That's dumb. And this like Lutnick saying, this is a small step towards easing the trade fight between the world's two biggest economies. The one that you started? The one that we fucking started? We're taking a small step into the right direction after we started this trade war for no reason. After literally no reason. Okay. Do I need to check my privilege if there's a part of me that is thrilled that I'll see the demise of the American empire in my lifetime? I think all of us are hoping for that, okay? I'm just hoping that Canada will offer asylum to Americans trying to flee the falling American empire. That's the only thing I'm hoping for. That Canada's like, hey, we see what's happening there. Asylum seekers are welcome, okay? They will not imagine not having a backup plan in 2025. Listen, not all of us, okay, have places we can go, okay? Some of us are stuck in this shithole. Now I'll go to Mexico before I go to Canada. I mean, hey man, yeah, sure, why not? I think Claudia's building a wall to keep you all in. I just don't know if I can live with the sepia filter always on. Right? That's what Mexico looks like in real life, right? Like in the TV shows. I feel like it'll get frustrating after a little bit. As a Mexican, I can confirm it turns off at night. Oh, okay, good. Just like how Nordic countries all have like the high contrast desaturated filter on. So in the snow, it just looks like you can only really see the colors dark green, dark blue, and then white. And that's it. I imagine that's how that area looks like. But yeah, in reality, like, this is what the trade war has looked like. 10% on most goods. China's like, okay, whatever. 20% on most goods. China's like, okay, man, sure, whatever. We're doing 54%. And China, as a country with immense economic power, says, actually, no, we don't think so. Oh, yeah? 100%. All right, we'll call your bluff, man. We have the chips to spare. You don't understand. You don't hold the power here. Okay? You can't bully us the way that you're bullying the countries that only have penguins in them. Oh yeah, well 145%. Sure, 125. Yeah, it's not going the way that they were hoping it would be going. China went to sleep and said, fuck these guys, yeah. So to pull the tariffs on electronic goods, it's pretty bitch made. Other people have highlighted this as well, but the the ads that people have been getting on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make...
In hindsight, I'm very happy that I was in AP classes because I had like cool professors, or not professors, teachers in high school. And I remember for my AP stats class, my teacher was He was a very weird teacher in hindsight. Very weird guy. Like, he really just, like, didn't give a fuck, okay? Admittedly. And he kind of bullied me and also everyone else in that class. He was enjoying his job, but he was also really cool, and he also, like, really wanted people to do well in their classes and really tried to help, and he was always there if you needed extra help. But he was a definitely cool teacher, but he was Chinese, and I remember vividly there was, like, this was back when, like, China scare was really, really, really high, and when everyone was like, "Oh, these Chinese goods suck. Everything that China makes sucks. Everything that you get from China just breaks immediately." And I remember the teacher being like, "By the way, guess what? It's not that the Chinese goods suck. It's that the companies are not willing to pay for good materials because they know people will blame Chinese labor for the bad materials that they are demanding their products be made with. American companies that want to make shit products are allowing shit products to be made because they don't really care. China's just offering the labor. That's it. The factories in China don't determine what materials you use, whether it's high quality material or low quality material. It's not the fucking worker that's sitting there packaging your Amazon goods that's like, yeah, let's give these Americans particle board. Like, no, that's all decided way higher up in the chain by American CEOs. When you get faulty products, that's not because the Chinese labor is bad. That's because the American company doesn't give a fuck about making sure that you get a good that actually will last you. You can get good products from China. There's a lot of stuff in China that's very, very high quality. And if you've been to China, you would know that. And that was like baby's first introduction to like anti-China sentiment in America. And I was like, okay. Interesting. Okay. I didn't know that. And so a lot of people who focus on American made goods, it's less so about the fact that Chinese labor isn't good or that Chinese quality or manufacturing isn't good, because that's not the problem. The problem is that it's a lot easier to verify that people are getting paid reasonable wages, or that they're part of a co-op, or that it's union made if it's in America, right? Because there are federal regulations and there are ways to track that stuff. That's the only reason to go for American labor. It's not that the actual physical goods are worse because they're Chinese. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, neither here nor there. Yeah, and then I got like radicalized because I was like, wait, luxury goods are all like bullshit. Like, I grew up poor, so I was always like, man, if only I could get luxury goods. If only I could get like name brand stuff. And then I realized that like, oh, actually, wait, luxury goods are all nonsensical. Like, they're literally, they always have been. And most luxury goods that you get, if you get them, most luxury goods that exist today, they're literally all made in China, and then they ship them to Italy, where, first of all, a lot of these countries have gotten caught for using sweatshop labor in Italy. I forget which company it was recently. It was a luxury good company that got fined for having sweatshop laborers in factories in Europe. So they're still abusing the Chinese labor. I know, a fine, right? Anywho. Yeah, but so they're either being abused in Europe, and that's why the good is made in Italy or whatever, or they're made in China, and then they ship them to Italy where they'll like brand them, or maybe they put like a little label, or they add one thing so that they can say, well, made in Italy. Some good sourced from here, but it's made in Italy. It doesn't mean that the bag is good or bad. It just means that it's made with cheap labor and they're overcharging like crazy.
Make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned.
That means you are racist.
By the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see.
I'm just saying, man, you should say that they're racist. You should, because that's what they are.
Those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
Spitting straight facts, I'm afraid. Spitting straight facts. The most offensive part about like buying things in America that are made in China is that you know that the Chinese laborers aren't even the ones making the money. That's the thing that I hate. Like I went to Etsy yesterday because I wanted to buy some cards and I was it's all drop shippers. And worse than that, it's drop shippers that are charging like 3 or 4 times more than what that thing should cost, even with packaging fees and customer service and all that other stuff, because you're expecting to buy non-drop shipper stuff. Drop shitters, exactly. Pokemon cards? No, I bought some tarot cards. I wanted to buy some tarot cards. So yeah, you're paying for the illusion, yeah. Witchcraft. Someone showed me tarot cards and they were like, I just like it because it's like a fun party trick. You can take them with you places and it's easy to get into conversation with people. And I was like, wait, you're so right. Wait, you're actually big brain as shit. Hold up. And she was like, you don't have to believe in this stuff. And I think most people don't necessarily believe that all of it or believe that their fate is in some cards, right? But it is just like fun to do at parties. I'm like, oh, wait, that's smart as shit. Wait, that's smart. That's dope. It's also cool because it's like an easy way to get people to like talk about things that are, it's just like a way to like self-reflect, right? You don't have to believe that the cards will tell you anything mystical. Mike, I love tarot cards because you can spin the interpretation to give it to give advice that would be too mean to deliver straight up. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like I don't believe in horoscopes and I don't believe in like tarot cards. I mean, I don't believe in like general mysticism and just overall. But you don't have to believe in it because you can use it into some lame ass party. Shut the hell up. Okay. Shut the hell up. Every party has the designated quiet spot. Okay. With a table in it. All right. All right. I'm sorry. If you think that the funnest part about going to a party is not being able to hear anything and then just standing around drinking something, you've never been to a good party. Okay. Because I will tell you the best part of the party is when you step outside on like the patio and it's a little quiet and you can talk to like 3 people that you've never talked to before. All right. And you have some crazy conversations because people are so overstimulated at these parties that they're like, oh, dude, yeah. And then they like, you get to open up and talk to people. That's the best part of the party. That's the best part. The fool sideways. It means there's unlimited potential for people who have Medicare for all. Oh God, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, that is cool. It's just like a way to talk to people and to introspect about things that maybe you otherwise wouldn't introspect about. And normally you can't really give advice to people, especially if it's not asked for. But with tarot cards, you kind of get to like circumvent that and be like, yeah, let's talk about something you want to talk about. That's so dope. I was like, wait, that's actually kind of cool. So I wanted to buy some like cards off of Etsy because I was like, oh, I want to support an actual artist who, made a bunch of cards with love and, spent a lot of time working on the designs and gets to benefit from this, like that they get to profit from this. And I literally the full first 2 pages of Etsy, they're charging $50 for a pack of cards, which again, if an artist made every single drawing in there, that's a fair price, right? It's a custom deck made by an artist who spent a lot of time. I mean, how many cards are in the deck? 50 cards, 50 illustrations. You're buying 50 illustrations. That's not that bad. It might be more, especially if the cards are like high quality and stuff. And it was all drop shipping and it was all AI art. And I was like, but I don't want to pay Etsy prices for fucking AI art that some fucking soulless husk threw into a fucking computer. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? And it's like, I guess I'll go buy them off some other stupid website. I guess I'll just go to
tarot card deck I bought at a museum. It's 78 cards that are all Salvador Dali paintings, and it was $60.
That's so cool. That's cool. That's a dope set. That's pretty dope. What's your favorite card? I fuck with the 2 of spades. I don't know if I have one. I don't know if I have one. But anywho. Moving on. Yeah, this is an interesting strategy for Trump's trade war to immediately cave while China hasn't caved on anything. I think it's going well. I think it's going well. Dude, using my tarot cards to secretly spread communism. Oh, that's interesting. Your reading is exactly like the last 3 people's reading. You think Medicare for all is good. You think that capital is the root of all evil. What's this? Whoa. You think the democracy is a joke. Wow. That's insane. Wow. Interesting card reading today. The death card. I'm sorry. Let me get this straight. You want to free Luigi. Wow. You said it. I'm sorry. The cards know the truth. All right. Surely you don't doubt the cards. I'm sensing that you want to join a union and strike, or very bad things will happen to you in the near future. Oh, God. Okay, all right. Enough.